Sickle cell disease, SCD, predominates in sub-Saharan Africa. Sometimes too, we have reports of Eastern Mediterranean areas, Middle East as well as India, with the prevalence rate ranging between 1 and 45% in various parts of sub-Saharan Africa. Now in Nigeria, carrier prevalence is said to be about 20 to 30%, as it affects about 2 to 3% of the country's population. What exactly is sickle cell anemia, and what are the health challenges exhibited by victims, and is it curable or manageable, as we've seen in some cases? Now on the program Nigeria Today, we shall take a look with experts on the topic, managing sickle cell anemia. My name is Blessing Abu. Welcome to the program. Now, joining me in the studio, I'd like to welcome Rabi Medunama. She's the founder of Medunama Sickle Cell Foundation. Thank you for joining us, Rabi.
Thank you. Good evening. Nice to be here.
And joining her on set, we'd like to welcome pharmacist Nkechi Ezeodu. She's the Deputy Director, Private Health Establishment Regulatory and Control, Health and Human Services Secretariat. That's the Federal Capital Territory Administration in Abuja. Welcome to the program.
Good evening. Thank you.
Okay, let's just establish what some know, and for some it's still a mystery, what sickle cell anemia or what sickle cell condition is generally. Rabi, would you like to take the first shot? For obvious reasons.
Yes. Well, okay, sickle cell, we prefer to call it disorder.
Yes.
Not a disease, because when you say disease, it makes it look like something contagious. Yes, so... well, it affects the red blood cells, and instead of the red blood cells being nice, round, and smooth, it becomes sickle. That's where it like a broken moon. Yes, that's where it got its name from. And so that kind of situation brings about blockage when the sickle cell is passing through blood vessels. You know, since they are not round and smooth again, they become very painful passing through blood vessels and all that. And of course, because we don't want to go into the medical aspect of, you know, because they lack oxygen and so many other things, and this will lead to other complications, you know, bone pain, loss of organ, tissue damage, and you know, so many other things. So,
okay,
yeah.
well, let's get to hear from pharmacist Nkechi Ezeodu. Yes, it's a disorder, and some are actually born with it, and some have discovered along the way, even though it wasn't exhibited at birth, right? Oh, well, take us through what we should know.
Sickle cell disease is a genetic...
Rabi said we should actually stick with the word disorder.
It's a genetic disorder. I agree with her. And the people that are involved are fighting battles every day. So we call them warrior. That's why I always take interest in going to schools to teach them on selecting partners before they reach the age of marriage, because it's something that can be avoided. Though they have high rate of it in Africa.
Why is it so?
I think maybe because we take a lot of things for granted. Most of us don't even know our blood group. I watched in internet, they were asking people what is their blood group. They were just saying a lot of things. I think ignorance is part of it, because these things is what can be avoided. I do go to secondary school every June 19. I will talk to them to make sure that they know their blood group before getting married. That in the place where there is so much pain, love wears out. So for your love to continue growing, you have to do necessary things so that you cannot bring a child to the world you will see that suffers every day. In as much as our parents, they did a lot of things out of ignorance. But in this present age, we don't want any mistake again. That's why we go about talking about it, because it can actually be avoided.
Okay. Still with you, because I'm going to get to Rabi in a short while. you're given the concerns of what should be when people decide to come together to be partners ultimately, and because once they get to be partners, they have to copulate, they have to meet, and they have to bring forth their kinds. Now, what should we consider when we're talking about who should meet who and who should come with who? Now, let's take time to actually explain that as simple as we can.
Okay. As this genotype is always in the blood group and is specific for certain individuals. Some people have AA, some people have AX, some people have AB. You know, you find out that if you have, some even have SS. So if you have SS, there is no need considering anybody with AS as a partner. If you have AX, don't consider anybody with AS as a partner. But if you have AA, you may not go into strict test because you have 50% chances of having AS, which is just a career, and you will live a normal life. But where the problem comes is when they have that, because you know, if parents are always involved in mating. The father donates one and the mother donates one. So if they are AS, both are AS, there's 50% tendency of giving birth to SS. So we don't encourage it at all. But if there's AS, one partner is AS, other partner is AA, they will not even have SS at all. So that's why I call it a burden. I'm not a sickler, but I've stayed with people that are sickle sellers. I know the pain, I know the crisis, I know what they go through. Blood transfusion, you know, for them to stay alive. So
okay, let's explore the world of the sickle cell patients with Rabi Edunam at this time. Yes, pharmacist Isildo has taken time to explain what could go wrong if we take some certain options and decisions, and ultimately we should actually look into the future with those who will be ultimate sufferers. Share with us what agony the sickle cell patient go through.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we go through a lot of bone pains. When I mean a lot, you know, and it could be excruciating. So, well, we have this different description of what the pain is. Sometimes it's like continuous, you know, hammer on your bone, you know, or sometimes when you have the acute chest syndrome, it's like you're choking, you're losing breath, you have headaches. These pains can be in any part of your body, from your head to your toe. The crisis can affect any part of your body. It can affect your eyesight, your dentition, your internal organs. It can affect everything. So that wherever blood flows, you could have a crisis at that time, and anything can happen. So as I said, it's very painful, and sometimes you need blood transfusions, sometimes you need blood exchange, because there are different things. You need your painkillers to go through it, and so many other things. So this kind of life can be very, very challenging. Aside that, you can develop complications, you know, from like infections in the bone and in other parts of your body, which will require surgery and all that. Personally, I've had a lot of surgeries on my bone. I've also had a hip replacement, right? Others have had damages to their kidneys, you know, spleen, gallbladder, and so many other things. So living with sickle cell can really, really be challenging.
Okay, for your foundation and your group of friends, I want to put it that way, because you have decided to come together as friends and families to help one another, and let's to bear each other's burden. What's more would you want to see in this direction to actually help sufferers in this direction? Yes, already you are there.
Yes.
Yes. You are already out there in the world, and there's nothing anyone can do about it other than to just stay with you.
Exactly.
What would you want to see at the different levels, from family to the society, and ultimately even the government, to actually make it easy to live?
Well, as I said, is the challenges are so many, from home to work, to school, to relationships, to peer group relationship. It affects everything. When you have a crisis and you have a loving home, you know, parents that love you and support you, you tend to be better. You tend to want to live, you know, for them, right? And then when we have this society that is full of stigma and discrimination concerning sickle cell warriors, it's really, really depressing.
So what kind of stigma do you face?
Well, it's like, born with sickle cell, it's like you have a tag already on your forehead that you have sickle cell wherever you go. I mean, there are other diseases or health issues that people don't even know that some people are living with, you know. But I don't know, there's this thing, maybe because of the myth in the African society about what sickle cell is. Initially, they didn't want to accept it as a medical condition. So probably that's why. And so we have the Hausa people calling it Aljanu, we have Abiku, we have Obanje in other parts of the country. So maybe that's why, you know. And honestly, if you don't have the medical care, that's why the children die before the age of 5. That is where it's more complicated, without good hospitals or good drugs. So at that point, now people think that it's a spiritual problem. You give birth to a child and before the age of 5 is dead, they repeat it again over and over again, not knowing that it's because of their genes, right, or their genotype. So maybe that is the beginning of this thing that has even come to this millennial age. Okay. So, yeah.
All right, let's get to hear from pharmacist Ezeodu. She actually took the next question out of my mouth. That is area where you see some of them do not survive beyond 5 years. And for those who scale through, perhaps in their late teenage years, and for those who successfully cross into their 20s, and the next thing you're thinking, okay, finally, she's going to leave. He is going to leave, and the next thing, of managing sickle cell disorder today, how easy is it to actually let sufferers stay on?
Sickle cellers, they do warriors. We have some people that are up to 60 years. A lot of things, what you eat matters so much. The environment, you don't stay in extreme environments, whether very hot or very cold. And you should try to develop your body to endure certain pains, in as much as it's excruciating. But you find out that the level of what you give yourself is what you stand with. If you learn to endure pain, you find out that most often, even chewing cloves, something like garlic or whatever, helps you to ease off the pains. But what painful aspect, I find out that most of these warriors, they are into drug. They inject themselves. They inject, if you look at their body, they have, I know, I've been relating with them for years now. If you look at their body, you will see needle pricks. They inject themselves.
That is some, not drugs related to what is their condition.
No, to reduce the pain, because the pains, they find it unbearable. So they stick to taking painkillers. At a stage, some will not stop it again. They go to higher one. And when the higher, after some time, they keep on changing the frequency. That's why I keep on begging parents that they should please do tests before they go into marriage. Though there's this thing they call erythropoietic stem cell transplantation.
What does that mean?
It's a process which red blood cell can be, you get a fresh red blood cell. And most of those stem cells are from pregnant women. If when they are giving birth, those blood that surround fetus are stem cells, because they have the tendency of growing fast. So
you harvest such, or such are harvested?
Yes, they collect it. You undergo a lot of process. Then they introduce it to the, they will attenuate that person's excess cells. then introduce it as a drip gradually through a medical process.
Okay, we'll find out more about this and what other areas science is actually helping out in the management of sickle cell disorder today. But that will be after this break.
Okay.
Yes, welcome back. If you just tuned in, the program is Nigeria Today, and this we're taking a look at managing sickle cell disorder as part of our own contribution in commemorating this year's look on World Sickle Cell Day. Okay, I still have my guest. I have Rabi Dunama and also a pharmacist in Izodu at Senkechi. Ladies, yes, both of you can take time to actually answer this next question, because I said we're going to be taking a look at what other things to do to manage the situation. But then I think earlier on, who mentioned issue about the kind of your diet and some, I think Nkechi did that. Now, there's some, well, it could be rumors, but let's find out from you through this, that the intake of more iron in the food triggers the crisis. How true is that?
I don't think that intake of iron triggers the...
Maybe so much iron in the
anything
food.
in excess is not good.
I should think so.
The heme part of hemoglobin is what keeps red blood cells going. Since sickle cell patients find it difficult to get enough oxygen, so having heme attached to their hemoglobin will make life easier for them, but we always encourage them to take enough fluid. When you take enough fluid, especially water, you find out that it will help the blockage to flow more, because it's like a capillary. It's supposed to be oval in shape. The thing has formed a sickle cell, a sickle shape like this. So making the capillary difficult to expand for it to float. But if it's an oval shape, the normal shape, you find that it moves fast. So when you take more fluid, it helps the capillary to expand normally, and the pain eases off.
Okay. I'm sure someone is getting educated alongside us. Okay, Rabi, let's see how you've been managing over the years, from diet to perhaps exercise and some other things that you want to share with someone who doesn't know what to actually do with the present situation in their hands, and they're just discovering, okay, my child is presented with this.
Yes, of course. Personally, I have been taking my folic acid seriously. I mean, that's what we've been encouraging parents, for starters, right? Folic acid is a tiny tablet that you think, and some people might just overlook it, you know, the importance. Folic acid has been a permanent routine drug. I try to avoid malaria. I don't joke with mosquitoes. Yes,
I'm sure no one even wants to joke with that.
When there's malaria, there's crisis. So I stop. I make sure that I don't have malaria, which has been very fantastic. Yes. So insecticide, anything that will stop you from getting malaria, right? Okay. And then I drink like a fish. I hydrate myself very often, and also, of course, we have good management drugs for sickle cell, so that has helped a lot of people. There are varieties now, and they keep improving, you know, so that has actually contributed. And then you keep your blood level at aside the folic acid, the diet, when you take greenies, especially ugu. My mom makes ugu juice. Immediately she sees that you know, she can just tell from, you know, how I look, and then she makes ugu juice for me once a while, and then that has helped in boosting my blood level, you know, keeping it in a good, yes, that's what we call the PCV. So
okay, for exercise, because I know for
for me, I don't exercise. My major challenges have been my bones, so I avoid any stress on my bones, right?
Well, it doesn't go for everyone suffering
some do well with exercise. Some do very well with exercise, yes. But not vigorous. Too much of everything, yes. You have, there's a limit. You don't sit down too much. Dance. Yes, you don't stand up too much, you don't run too much, you don't do everything in excess. You have to, you know, limit whatever you do and master your body. We all have different management plans.
Okay, all right, Pharmacist Zodu, we must go very soon. Would you think shine the light on sickle cell? I'm sure yourself, as well as those who are interested in this disorder, and all the health practitioners, who want to see a healthy situation for, at least for them to thrive in an environment. What do you think can be done to achieve that going forward?
We always tell them to make sure they stay in a neat environment, eat healthy, avoid junk food, stay in a very comfortable environment, you know, and mind what they eat. You don't just have to eat anything. Keep away from mosquitoes and trying to inject yourself or to take drugs, self-medication. That's why most of them have, or if you look at them, you find that the shape of their liver has so distended. You can even look at it physically and see some changes. You look at their eyes. I've told them that you can even do simple tests to know when you have a low blood, when your PCV is not what it's supposed to be. Then you take ugu water, as she has said. You know, that one help you.
And this we have in abundance.
Yes. At the back,
a lot of things, a lot of even garlic, a lot of things, cloves that help them to reduce pain. Then they take this aloe vera, is antibiotics because they are prone to infections too. Okay. You know.
All right. So I know we've been saying issue of management, but then are there possibilities of a cure or maybe vaccine to actually help sickle cell sufferers at the moment? Or what do we know that science is doing at the moment? You are in the field.
Yes. Vaccine will not do much because it's genetic. But this process they call electropoietic stem cell transplantation will help, because it will help to grow a new cell. Because
how affordable is that?
It's not all that expensive when you compare to life. So everything anybody is looking for, you plan towards it. Even to eat normal, you have to plan. If you don't plan well, you find out that you may not eat what you're supposed to eat. Hydroxyurea help too, but I don't advise people to go for it because of the side effects that is involved.
Okay. So as we mark another, as we commemorate another World Sickle Cell Day, Rabi, I'm sure you want to just encourage in 20 seconds.
Okay, yes. Tomorrow is World Sickle Cell Day, June 19th. So we're doing, the theme for this year is Shine the Light on ICD. We are going to show, from our little end, we're showing the world that we're not all burden. We have talent, and we're also encouraging warriors to be empowered, you know. So we're going to be doing skill acquisitions and empowering, and we encourage everybody to support warriors one way or the other so that they'll be able to take care of themselves. They are not burden to societies. We are smart and brilliant people. Thank you.
Yeah, we support you, Rabi. You are a warrior, and we support you all the way. And several others like you are out there fighting that battle to stay alive. And you will live. Okay, let's get the closing thoughts from Nkechi.
I'm encouraging male and female, please, before you go into marriage, know your genotype. Don't be carried away by beauty, because beauty fades with difficult situations.
And that will be. Thank you very much, Pharmacist Nkechi Ezeodu, Deputy Director, Private Health Establishment, Regulatory and Control Health and Human Services Secretariat. That's with the FCTA in Abuja. Appreciate your time and your insight on the program.
Thank you so much.
I'd also like to say thank you to Rabi Medunama. She is the founder of Medunama Sickle Cell Foundation. It was great talking to you, really.
Nice being here. Thank you very much.
And we also appreciate your viewership. Nigeria Today is live every weekday at 7:30 in the evening on NTA News 24. You can watch this edition as well as other editions online. That's youtube.com/NTA News 24. My name is Blessing Abu. Thank you for watching and see you next time.